Hello friends, welcome to Technocrate Automation Lab. In previous session, we have seen XPath Locator. And with the XPath Locator and their methods, we were identifying the web elements uniquely. But these methods like contains, starts with, and text, these doesn't work whenever elements are dynamically changing, means or any dynamic element. What do you mean by dynamic element? That we are going to see. And for that, Selenium provides a way to handle such kind of elements that I'm going to cover today. Then the topic is that is dynamic XPath or XPath access. We also call these XPath as XPath access. So before going to dynamic XPath, I'll just tell you that what are the dynamic elements. So first of all, I'll go to make my trip application. So in make this is the make my trip application. Okay, in this you can see these are some links is provided by make my trip, like flights, hotels, villas, holidays. There are many more. Okay, but there is no surety that this will be displayed as it is, means there might be possibility then when you will open this site tomorrow, then this trains option is not available or this holidays option is not available. So these are dynamic. Or you can see whenever we are searching a particular flight, so there are so many options given by make my trip, right? These are the options that is provided by make my trip site for booking and flight. But if you, as you can see, these elements are also dynamic. If you change your input, then these will change. Or if you don't change your input, suppose SpiceJet is full, then this option won't be visible. Means these are all are the dynamic elements which is changing very frequently, right? So to deal with such elements, we need to take a help of dynamic XPath that is provided by Selenium. So that we are going to see today. What are the dynamic XPaths that is provided by Selenium? So there are two kind of dynamic XPaths. One works as a forward direction and second works in backward directions. So the XPaths which work on the forward direction, those are child, following, following, sibling, and descendant. And the elements on the XPaths which work on the backward direction, those are parent, preceding, preceding sibling, and ancestor. So to understand this, first of all, we need to understand that what is parent and child relationship in an HTML page. And after that, again, I'll come to this. Just go to this application. This is normal Guru 99 website where we have some data available in form of table. Okay, these are the product. This is the header. These are the product details. These are the price and their percentage changes. Okay, so this can be changed dynamically, right? If there would be new product added, so there will be, as of now, if there are 27 products, so in future there might be possibility there are 28 products, or the count will increase or decrease. So it totally depends on the database which is handling this data, right? So this will change dynamically. We don't have control on this data. So just right click on this inspect element. We'll see the HTML page of this application. See, as I said, this is the table. I'll spy this table in HTML page. I'll go to this and I'll click on this header. Okay, see. So this is the table, right? This is the table which is representing our table in the HTML page. So what is the parent node? See, this is the table. If I extend this, there are two sub-elements of this table, right? The sub-element is like t-head and t-body, or you can say sub-node. This is my root node, okay, and this is the child node. So what parent and child hierarchy works as, this will become as parent, right? Because this is on top, and inside that there are two more elements. The one is t-head and t-body, means this t-head and t-body are the child element of this parent element which is table. Fine. If I'll again extend this t head, okay, now t table is representing entire table. What this t head is representing? It is representing this header only, right? Header is highlighted. Okay. If I go inside that, so there is one more tag that is tr, and there are some other tags like th, which is table header value, company, group, previous close rupees, current price and change. So see, this is the hierarchy. This is the parent node. This is the child node. There are more child nodes. In that case, what will happen for this TR? This is the parent node T hat, right? For this TH, TR is parent node and TH is child node of this parent node, right? So in this way, this parent and child hierarchy works. Along with that, if you starts with table, right? So then table T hat, TR, TH. There are four tags inside the table node. What we say these nodes? We say the descendants means TH node is the descendant node of table node, which is the top node, right? So in such a way this hierarchy works. I'll give you one more example like this. See, this is the logo of this application, right? What is the logo? The logo name is this one. You can see this is the logo, Guru 99 demo sites. What is this? This is the image tag, right? This image tag is the child node of this A tag, right? And this A tag is child node of this div node, fine? Means this is the grandparent, this is the parent and this is the child. This is the grandchildren, this is the parent and this is the grandparent. In such a way this hierarchy works. And in the similar way, access are available in Selenium, by which we can design the dynamic XPath. So suppose if we have only this particular element and with the help of this I want to locate the child elements. So we have that kind of options are available in Selenium, so that we know our parent element but we are not sure about our child element because it is changing dynamically. So with the help of that parent node only we can retrieve, we can iterate our child element. Okay, fine. So we are going to see what are those. Okay, the first one is forward direction. Okay, we'll start with the forward direction, which works on the forward way, which search the element in forward direction. The first element is child. See what child access does. Child access is the select the child node of the current node. Means see, in the application this is the parent node, class is equal to logo, right? And this is the child node. If we want to identify this particular node with the help of this node, then how we are going to identify? Or see, there are some text written over here, that is Guru 99 demo sites. But suppose it is happening that sometimes it is Guru 99, sometimes it is Guru 98. Then how will you identify this? Okay, the logo is changing. What is not changing? This is not going to be changed. Class is equal to logo. Inside that there will be one element which values, for which the value is only changing. Okay, so fine, I'll just write control find. Here I can write my XPath. Simple. As of now, we'll just write the XPath of this particular line. So we have class attribute available and their respective value. We'll design our XPath, what we learned in the last session. Simple, @ class is equal to logo. Fine, simple basic path. So we identified this element. Now what we want? We want to search in the forward direction, right? This is the child node. And we have access available as child, okay, which is provided by Selenium. What we'll do, slash, okay, / child :: what is the tag name? What is the tag name? This is A, right? We'll write A. Okay, inside that img. Now it is identifying the actual element that we wanted. Fine. See, now look this syntax very carefully. I'll just copy this. See what is happening here. Till here, this is the normal XPath which is identifying the logo, right? After that, single / means it is telling that the particular element need to be searched in the forward direction, right? Means inside this sub element, this will be searched. After that, I am saying the child means the immediate child of this parent node, right? And I am saying child node need to be searched by a tag. Fine. So if there would be any child, but if the tag name is A, only search that particular child. That I am right now saying here. So with the help of these child, I can identify the child node with the help of parent node. Right? Here I am not giving anything, this particular value and not value or something else. I am not giving anything. Right? Title is home. I am not giving anything. I am just identifying with the help of my parent node. Okay, this is the one access that is available in dynamic XPath. Now another one is following. Okay. See, for what following does, selects all elements in the document after the current node. What child node was doing? Child node was searching the element inside the parent node. But what following does? Following is select the elements, all the elements in the document after the current node. We will see how. Okay, fine. So we'll go to Google. Okay. Now come to this table. Fine. We will identify this table. Okay. See, this is the table. This is the table header, and this inside this T body table values are defined inside the TR tag. The first TR is defining the first row. Second TR is defining the data inside the second row in the form of TD. Right? These TD is defining as a column. Now, see. We want to design the dynamic XPath of this. We know the table name class will be data table, but after this what will come, that we are not sure. So how we are going to design XPath in such condition? Simple, write basic XPath to find the table first. Right? Now inside that we know there is one child element, that is T head. Right? Right. Child as T head. Okay. After this slash, what we know, we will write following tr, means what following will do. Following will start searching of elements after the current node, means right now where are we? We are at this particular location. Okay, one second. It is not identifying. Let me check. Class is equal to data table. Okay, fine. I have given as div, which is not a div. This is the, okay, right, star. Fine. Now it is identifying this table, and T child element is T head. Fine. Okay. Now I want to select all this TR, right? All these rows I want to select. What following does? Following select all the tags that we are giving after the current node. Means right now we are here. So it will start searching from the next node, which is T body. It won't go inside the current node. Right now I am on T head, but it won't go inside this. Right? It will start searching after the, or you can say just after the current node. So this is the node that is defined after the current node. This is the T body. And after that, it will search for all the TRs. So if I write following TR, right? It is identifying all these rows. There are 26 rows are available. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is identifying all rows. Right? So what following does? Following simple selects all elements in the document after the current node. It is searching the elements after the current nodes where the tag name is tr, right? So the tag name is tr. So in this way following works. So With the help of following, we are able to get all the rows. We are not giving any information on the rows that the text should be this or the number should be this. We are not giving any information because these are dynamic. We are not sure about these values. We are sure about the table, that the class will be data table only. The data will change. So with the help of this, we are locating all these rows. Right now, inside the rows, what we have inside the rows, we have TD tag. Right? So we can again, by giving this, we can will define TD here and we'll get all the values. Right? So now the next one is the following sibling. See, we have seen child and we have seen the following. The next one is following sibling. What following sibling does? See, first in the application, this is the parent node table. T head and T body are the child node. Right? These are the childs of table, means these both these both nodes, T head and T body, both are sharing the same parents. The nodes which are sharing the same parent, what we say? We say these both nodes are sibling to each other, right? Because they are sharing the same parent, T head and T body, right? Now, for such kind of situations where you have to deal with siblings, means I am on T head, or simple, I am on this first row. I want to identify all the siblings. What are the siblings of this TR? All TR. Because all are at same level and all are sharing the parent as T body. Right? So with the help of first TR, I can find all the rows. Right? In such a way, we can use following sibling. How? Let's see. Okay. So for this, just go to our slide, following sibling. So what it says, select the following siblings of the context node. Siblings are at the same level of the current node. It will find the element after the current node. Fine. What I said, it will find the siblings after the current node and all are should be at the same level. How we are going to write the XPath for this? See, till now we were on T hat because following starts locating the element after the current node. But following sibling starts locating the element from the current node, not after the current node. Okay, that's the difference. So here I'll write the child as T body. T body is also a child of table. This inside that we have TR tag. Right? What I say, I want to select the first TR. Now it is on the first TR, right? Now with the help of this particular TR, I want to select all the siblings. These all are the siblings of TR which is sharing the same parent as T body. What will I write? Slash following sibling, and what is the tag? The tag name is TR. See, now it is identifying all the rows. Okay, so whenever you want to select a particular rows or particular elements, right, or elements which are sharing the same parent, you can take a help of following sibling access in such cases. Okay, after that we are going to see the next axis. Till now we are looking for all the axes which are working on the forward direction. So we have seen child, following sibling. Now the next one is descendant, which is most important and which is that you are going to use a lot in your application. See why? I'll tell you why. Following sibling descendancy. The should be descendant. Okay, the descendant axis selects all the descendant element, child, grandchild, etc. of the current node. Simple. Now go to application. See. This is the hierarchy that we can see right now. Table, T hat, TR, inside that TH tag is available. 4, right? 4 hierarchy. So this TH element or TH node is the descendant of this table root node, right? So we can directly identify this TH node with the help of descendant axis. How? See. Simple. This is identifying my table, right? Slash right descendant double slash what tag you want to identify, TL. See, it is identifying all tags directly, right? I'll give you one another example of this, as this is going to be used mostly in Selenium. See, this is the make my trip application. Okay, these are the values that can be changed dynamically, right? Trains, holidays, buses. Okay, just inspect this. I want to locate all these values, all these links, but I'm not sure about this element, so I can't use flights and hotels. So what will I use? I'll use some kind of a header, right? See, for that I need to see the back HTML page of this. So I'll just spy this element, just click on here and click. See, okay, what it is saying. Okay, this is the UL tag. Inside that there are some li nodes are available, and inside that the a tag is available. Means these all li tags are the sibling, and the parent node is this UL, for which this is the ancestor, right? You can see this is the ancestor where there is div, so much hierarchy is available, and inside them there is a UL element is UL tag is UL node is there, and inside that there are so many list elements, list tags are available. Now how we are going to identify? We have this parent node, right? Landing container. So either we can use this, or we can use this is also identifying, this is identifying only make my trip logo. Okay, this is identifying whole of this list. So I'll use this class control find. Okay, simple. I'll just find this particular locator. I'll write the XPath of this. What is the tag name? The tag name is div. Inside that what we have? We have the class attribute, and the value is we had just copied. Now it is identifying the simple header, right? The class div class of all these elements. Inside that there is one nav element. Inside nav there is UL child element, and inside that all these list elements are available. What will write? These lists are the descendant of this div root node, right? Will directly write descendant li. See, it is directly identifying all these 11 elements. So no matters what will come here in future, what will be available here. Okay, whatever will be available at that particular time, that will be returned in your code. And you, along with that, you can do your validation. Inside that there is link as well, which is the child element of list. So now you can write the child and right, it is identifying the actual link. So if you want to click on that, you can do your action directly. Fine. So these were the following accesses that we have seen, right? All the following accesses were locating the elements in forward direction. In the similar way, we have other 4 accesses available which works exact same as the forward direction, but works in the backward direction. See, what child were doing with the child element, we were trying to locate the child node of the parent node. Now we have child node and we want to locate the parent node of this. See, if I'll go to application, suppose we have this node, we have the information of this header node, and I want to know the parent of this. Okay, so now I have to search in the backward direction, right? In such cases, these backward accesses are used, right? So now we are going to see how to use them. Simple, I'll start with the parent one. Fine. For this, we'll go to application and see. In this application, inside this box, there are so many links are available. Right now, you need to identify which particular tag is coming before this SEO tag. This information you have, but right now you're not sure that which tag is about to come at this place because this is changing or you don't have a proper information about this tag. So first you will identify this tag, SEO. Now we are looking the example of backward direction, searching an element in backward direction. See, so this is a tag SE inside the UL. Inside this, okay, this is the location of this particular SEO web element, right? This is the A tag, means this is the link. What will I do? Simple. First of all, I'll write the XPath of this, right? Okay, I'll go and write the XPath of this particular element. This is A tag. Okay, what is the value here? I can directly write contains text as SEO, contains text as SEO. Okay, it is identifying this element. Fine. Now, this is the child element. Who is the parent of this A tag? The parent is Li. So, I want to locate the parent element. Till now, we were locating the child element. What will I do? Simple, forward slash. See, whenever you write the forward slash, this will automatically select the element in forward direction until you give the proper backward axis. So as of now, I am giving the proper axis as parent. Now it will search the particular element in backward direction. Okay, I am giving what is the parent node? This is Li. I'll simple write parent Li. Okay, now it is identifying the this particular parent node. Okay, now what is my expectation? My expectation is I want to identify this particular locator, this particular element with the help of locator, right? What will I do? See, if you can see, I'll just expand this. Okay. So if you can see, all these lists are the child nodes of this UL parent node. Means these all are the siblings. So as we have seen, we have the forward sibling options available, right? In the similar way, we have the preceding sibling option is also available. Means it will search for the sibling in the preceding direction, in the back direction or a backward direction. What will I do? I'll simple write preceding sibling. What is the tag name? The tag name is Li. I want to select the first element of the tag. Now it is identifying the first element. See, now it is locating the actual element of new tours, right? New tours that we wanted. Inside that, this is the link, right? What I can say, simple forward slash, and what is the tag here? A. Now it is identifying the actual locator, right? In the similar way, we can use, as we have used the child and forward sibling, we can use the parent and preceding sibling as well. Fine. Okay. Now we have seen the parent, we have seen the preceding sibling. What else we have? We have the preceding as well and ancestor as well. So first we are going to see the preceding. Okay, we have seen the following. In the similar way, the preceding is also available. Okay. Now let's move to preceding. Fine. So what preceding axis does, it selects all the nodes that come before the current node. Means, see, this is the application. Okay, we'll again go back to our table. Okay, this is the table which is available and these are the values of the table. Suppose in the first row, this is the text, Jagran Prakashan. Okay, we have this value. Okay, this is the fixed value that is not going to be changed. But we want to identify the header of this particular value. The header is company. Okay, so we have the location, we can identify this locator, but we don't know the locator or the particular element for which this particular element belongs. Okay, means the location of header. So how we are going to identify this? This is one of the interview question as well, guys, because in interviews this kind of questions ask that you have the table data which is fixed. Usually that doesn't happen, but to know your knowledge that whether you have the proper hands-on of this preceding and preceding siblings, they ask this kind of questions that the proper data, whatever is available on the table, that particular data or the values are constant, that those are not going to be changed, and with the help of that can you identify the header details, right? So we are going to see that. See, okay. First of all, we'll write the locator of this Jagran Prakashan. As this is fixed, okay, we can directly, okay, this, close this. We can directly copy this text. We'll write the contains text as, okay, this is the A tag. Now it is identifying the locator, this particular element, right? Now we have to go in the upward direction, right? What preceding does, okay, that we need to see. What preceding does, preceding starts searching of the element after the current node. Right now we are on this node, so it won't start searching from this particular node, right? It will start searching from this node, right? It is not going to search from this td node. So what we are going to write, we have to go inside this t head, because inside that this company header, this is the header that the company is written and that we want to retrieve. Okay, so what we are going to write, we are going to write preceding in backward direction. Okay, preceding in backward direction. In which tag we want to go? We are here and we want to go in t head, right? We'll write t head. See, it is identifying the t head node right now. Okay, now what is the next task? Now we want to do the searching in forward direction, right? We'll simple write tr, and inside that we want to go th. These are the headers, but we want to select the first one. As of now it is selecting all the 5, so we'll simple write 1. Okay, now it is selecting the header based on the input that we had. Okay, so in such a way, whenever you want to select a value or the header value, and you have the constant value of the table data, but you are not sure about the table header or anything else, in such cases you can use the preceding access. Fine, so now we are going to see the ancestor. We have seen the descendant. In the similar way we have the ancestor as well. Fine. Okay, so what ancestor element does, the ancestor axis selects all the ancestor elements, grandparent, parent of the current node. Okay, so we'll see, find that. For that we'll go to the Facebook link. I'll just inspect this page. Okay, now this is the backend page. See, this is the female, male, custom. These are the 3 options are available. These are the, okay. Now I want to select this female. Fine, this is the label. Okay, this is the input radio button and this is the female option. Now with the help of these options, I want to select what is the header value here, if it is gender or not, right? That I want to verify. What will I do? Simple, just try to understand the HTML code of this. Right now we are here. Okay, these are the child node of this span parent node. Okay, This span, again a child node of this span, and then we have this div node. Fine. So if we see the hierarchy, so this is the grandparent, this is the parent, and this is the child. Inside that we have the input value. Fine. Means right now we are dealing with the 3 hierarchy. So if we are going to write the XPath in, by using parent, so it will be too lengthy. I'll show you. First of all, I want to write the XPath of this female. We'll select the locator of female first, right? I'll simple write, what is this? This is the, okay, I'll write star contains text is equal to, what is this? This is female. Fine. Okay, now it is identifying this female element. Okay, now I want to go upward till here, right? So either I write in like the parent, the first parent is span, right? Again, if I write the parent, it will be like span again, span element. It is not identifying. Let me check. Okay, this is capital. This should be small. Fine. So first of all, we have identified this element. Then this is the parent. Now we are at this particular location. Now again, this is also a child node of this div node. We'll again write parent div. Okay, now it is identifying this particular element. But this is too lengthy. Okay, instead of this, we can directly write ancestor as div. It is identifying too many div ancestors. It is actually locating all the hierarchy, but we want the first one. Okay, we wanted the first one, right? We can directly write 1, and inside that we have this option. So just write div. We can again write as 1. Now it is uniquely identifying this particular element, and we can directly write this XPath into our Selenium scripts. Fine. So guys, in such a way, we can use the preceding siblings, preceding parent, and this ancestor, means all the backward accesses. Fine. Mostly in most of the cases, we are working with these forward direction accesses like child, following, and the descent is mostly or widely used in Selenium. But there are so many interview questions on backward as well, like parent, what are the preceding, in what cases we should use preceding siblings. So you should be aware about all these things. So the one difference that you should be aware, or that you need to learn or need to understand, that whenever we are dealing with the child and descendant, those are going inside the current node. But whenever we are dealing with the following, okay, it doesn't start with the current node. It goes with the next node, and after that it starts the searching. That is the difference. Okay. Now, so see, as we have seen the example of this make my trip, what code we have written? We have written this. Now it is identifying all the values. Okay, all these elements, flights, hotels, all these elements are coming by this XPath. How we are going to use this XPath in Selenium script? Just copy this C. I'll go to our Eclipse. Fine. So first of all, I'll launch the browser. What is the link of this? This is makemytrip.com. Okay, all right. HTTPS makemytrip.com. Fine. By this particular command, application will be launched. Now, next thing, driver dot find element. Till now, we were using the find element because till now we were only dealing with the single element. By using XPath or some other locators like id and class, we were locating the single element, but right now we have located the multiple element with the single xpath. In such cases we are not going to use this find element, we are going to use find elements, because it is going to search the list of elements. Fine. Inside that, by dot xpath and our actual xpath. Fine. Now see, when our xpath, when our this find element were returning the single element, what we were doing, we were taking into the one web element variable anything like links. Okay, we have given the variable name as links, that we were doing. Okay, initially when we were finding the single element. Okay, I'll write the code here so it will give you the clear view. Links. Okay, private. Now let's assume that element. Okay, okay, this particular line, see this carefully. This is identifying the one element, find element, one single element. Okay, and we are returning that element into the link, right? But this particular line is returning multiple web elements. And see, what is the return type of this? The return type of this is list web element, means it is giving us, it is returning the list of web element. Fine. So we have to define in such a way. That's why it is showing an error right now. Now it will go. Fine. What is the list over here? List is just a collection part of Java. This is the interface, right, that we are using. It comes with this package, java.util.list package. Okay, now we have this links variable of list type, which is storing all the elements of this particular make my trip page, right? All these elements are going to be returned. I want the link, I want the text of all these links. Okay, what will I do? These links have multiple elements, so first of all I need to iterate one by one each element. What will I do? I'll simple write the for loop for this, for each loop. Okay, I'll use, this is the web element links. Okay, sys.out, I want the link get text. Okay, let's just comment this out, we don't need this line. Okay, not now what this for loop is doing, it is iterating each element one by one from this links element. Okay, and inside the for loop we are getting the text of that particular link. This is the get text method. This is provided by web element interface. Okay, and with the help of that we can identify or we can retrieve the particular text of that string. Okay, now let's run this code. It is trying to launch make my trip application now. Okay, just a minute. Okay, now let's run this again. It launched Chrome browser. Okay, it tried to, okay, it launched make my trip application. See what is happening here. See, we got all the text, right? We got the flights, hotels, villas, APTs, holidays, trains. These were the exact same text that we were looking for: flights, hotels, trains, holidays, right? We got all this information. Okay. So, whenever you are dealing with multiple web elements, okay, whenever you want to retrieve the multiple web elements, you need to use find elements. And the return type of find elements is always be the list of web elements. This is also a interview question, that what is it. First of all, the interview question is that what is the difference between find element and find elements, and what is the return type of find elements. Okay, so you have to say that the return type is list web element. Fine. So guys, that's it for today. We have covered the dynamic XPath, and we have seen how to locate the dynamic elements on any web page, and how to write a particular code for this by using find elements method. Fine. So just do the practice. As of now, it is, if you think that it is little complex, so yes, it is, but you have to do a lot of practice for this. So I'll suggest just do your practice first with basic XPath, and once you become expert on that, just go for the dynamic XPath. Fine. And if you have any queries, any doubts, just write us on the below email ID. We'll clarify all your doubts. Fine guys, we'll meet on the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.